Greetings and good evening, Management 1010 Interdisciplinary Leadership students. Can you believe it that we begin week 6 of this semester? We begin the month of October. Fall break is just around the corner, right? And we're just really making progress. Well, I have posted the grades for writing assignment number 2, and that was, of course, the one on Hotel Rwanda. So I first wanted to stop and ask you, what did you think about that movie? My goodness, was it like that? It was. It was very much a wow movie for many of you, and you expressed that to me, and I appreciate that feedback. I know it was a little bit of a difficult movie to watch, especially when you realize this is a true story. But it was a story, really, of transformation and of somebody going through a leadership growth process to become not just a leader, but a servant leader. Now, as I graded your work, I did post the grades, they're out there. There was a couple points that almost all students missed, and so I really wanted to come back, not everybody, but I really wanted to come back and revisit these key points because they were just so important. Okay, first of all, when I ask you, how was Paul in the beginning of the leader, in the beginning of the movie, who did he serve? So many of you talked about the position that he held, and I find that so interesting that when we're thinking about leadership, we're actually equating that with management, his role in the hotel. When we think about who Paul served, I think we have to say that he had a very large focus on himself, that he was really taking care of me and mine, right? Now, I ask you to talk about, as he went through the movie, or the experience, we really should say, because this is a life experience, how did he end up at the end? And a lot of you told me things about, this happened, and this event happened, and there was this time, but that doesn't describe how Paul changed throughout the movie. And when you think about and I gave you individual comments on this, but when you think that he put his wife into the truck, he put his children into the truck, and then he stepped back. Now, what was waiting for him? No water, very limited food. They had about run out of water. Safety had already said to them, the security were pulling out, this is it. And so he was basically saying, I lay down my life to stay and serve these people. What a transformation from where he started, right? Wow, what an awesome service leadership. Now, another thing that confused people about servant leadership, I think, is rooted in this boss mentality that we have. We like to think that the leader is kind of like the head of the knights of the round table. It's the one who can smite and defeat the others with great force. But a servant leader is typically the opposite of that, right? The servant leader is the one who says, but what's best for you? Now, he doesn't say, what do you want to do? There's a big difference there, right? You may say to one of your children, do you want to eat your broccoli? And they will say, no. But that's not in their best interest, is it? Because of your experiences, you got to eat your broccoli, right? So you lead them into doing that. You persuade. There was a lot of other characteristics that Paul used as well. But he always acted in the best interest of his people to the bitter end. Now, I say always, but really not from the beginning of the movie, right? So let's talk about Tatiana's role. Most of you missed this. I asked you, what was her role with Paul, I should read the exact question, in influencing Paul's decision-making. I did not ask you her role in the movie, okay? Her role in the movie, yes, she's his wife. That's her role. But her role was so much bigger when you think about how she influenced Paul's decisions. Paul says, don't get involved with the neighbors. Tatiana is saying, we need to get involved. We need to get involved. Paul does not want those people staying in his house, but Tatiana coaxes him to do what he knows is the right thing. They're at the hotel. Tatiana is giving up all the rooms, including their children's rooms, to make room for everyone. Paul is saying, this is getting out of hand. I can't handle this. Tatiana is not just a cheerleader. She's not just his partner and his wife and his support system. If you think about it, she is the original servant leader, isn't she? She's not jumping up and down. She's not smiting him. She's not saying this is how it's going to be. But doesn't he see it her way as she coaxes and points out the right thing? Think about that. Left you detailed feedback. Go through and look at that. Of course, now our next movie is not due until October the 8th, but I want you to notice that, first of all, October the 8th is very soon, and second of all, that October the 8th is also when quiz number 5 is due. So you need to space those out. Don't, let one go. So make sure you finish one early and then have time to finish the other one, perhaps a little early also, right? So get them done well in advance of the due date, because you have 2 things due on October the 8th. Now, writing assignment number 3, the movie involved in that is Iron-Jawed Angels. Once again, I've given you some free ways to watch that movie. Of course, you can always go to the library. The movies are on reference. I have to be honest and tell you that it was obvious for a bigger portion of the class than I would like to have that you didn't watch the movie. And the sad thing about that is, this is your ability to look at what's in the chapter and to see it demonstrated in real life. These are true stories. So as you watch Iron-Jawed Angels, again, you're going to see exemplified great leadership styles. You're going to see contrasting leadership styles. You're also going to see servant leadership. So very, very important as you watch Iron-Jawed Angels, okay? So again, make sure both writing assignment number 3 as well as quiz 5, right? Okay, so unit quiz 4, though, let me back up a little bit, is due tomorrow night, right? But I'm really hoping, so that's October 1st, we begin October. I hope you're already done with unit 4 quiz, right? So that you're wrapping that up, or at least trying to maybe just bump your score up as high as you can go. And I hope you're not starting tonight, okay? So make sure you're out there working on that. I see that you are. I see many of you out there working. I always check on that. All right, so what else do we have left? One thing that I wanted to, as we talk about writing assignment number 3, Iron-Jawed Angels, I want to give you a little key to success on this one. On several of the questions, I ask you to give an opinion or to answer a question, but I ask you for more than that. I have bolded the words, give specific examples, and I oftentimes ask for more than one example. I'm looking for those examples. They need to come from the movie. You've got access to the movie and it's out there. I want to know that you're watching that movie from a different perspective. You can watch these movies and you can kind of sit back passively and say, oh, that's really special, that's really nice. But when you recognize that this is a true story and these people are relying on skills, and leadership can have different skills, right? Different leaders really rely on different skills, different attributes, different characteristics. So I'm looking for specific examples of some of the things that I ask you about in the questionnaire, okay? So make sure you give me those specific examples. Okay, last but not least, this week, many of your faculty, your instructors, are posting what we call LDAs, last date of attendance. And this is our way of doing some attendance reporting for the college. So if you've been inactive, if you're lurking out there and not doing the assignments, it's very possible that you could get knocked out of your classes. So monitor your enrollment, make sure that you are enrolled. If you notice that you suddenly become unenrolled, you need to address that quickly by contacting your instructors. I say that it's not just for my class, it's for all the classes that you're enrolled in, okay? So, feedback for writing assignment 2, unit 4 quiz is due by tomorrow, by October 1st. The last note I would talk to you about is extra credit. If you, I believe that we've talked about this. If not, you can definitely let me know. There are instructions out there in the pause drop box about ways that you can earn extra credit if you need to do that. I encourage you to get involved through service learning, and that's what the extra credit is about. There are many opportunities to serve your community. You see the connection, service learning. You're going to be serving your community. It's a great opportunity for you as well. You can have fun. You can work in the community. You may network and meet people. There are all kinds of opportunities. Just make sure that you contact the service learning office, and I've given you their phone numbers and their website. But I encourage you to talk to them because they have new opportunities that are coming up all the time. Okay? So make sure that you're on top of that if you're interested in extra credit. And other than that, keep up the great work. By and large, you all did very, very well. There was just those two little stickler points about the changes that Paul went through and about Tatiana's role, not just in the movie, but in her influencing Paul's decisions. Remember, we always want to look at this from the approach of leadership and service leadership in particular. Keep up the good work, y'all. You're doing good, all right? I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope you enjoy Iron Jawed Angels as well as the reading assignments for the next chapter. Thanks. We'll see you.